Hey, what's up everybody? This is Jumpin here, and today I'm going to be bringing you another Mass Effect 3 gameplay commentary. Today I'm going to actually be showing you the human Vanguard. I named this guy Team Player because I really feel like the human Vanguard can be a definite team player. One of the best in the whole game if you play with him right. Alright, so let me give you the build. For Bionic Charge, I recommend Radius over the Force and Damage. This is going to help you set off multiple explosions if you're playing with other adapts and stuff. Power Synergy for more power damage, and Barrier, pretty standard stuff. This is what I like to go for most of the time for Charge. For Nova, which is one of the best powers in the game, Force and Damage, Power Recharge, which is amazing because it's going to allow you to get your charge back faster so you can get your shields back faster. And then finally Pierce, which is so necessary. You have to have this if you want to do any damage to armor, shields, or barriers. Alright, for Alliance training, highly recommend Damage and Capacity. Pretty obvious. You know, he uses powers. Same with power damage, kind of obvious. And then the final one that I recommend is pretty much weapons damage. You can go for whatever you want. I just like to use the Carnifex on this guy. I don't really like to fuck with anything else. Alright, now for fitness, durability, martial artist is probably what most people would go for. I don't really melee with this guy, so I just go for shield recharge, and then fitness expert. Now one thing I wanted to talk about, there is a different build you can use with this I've been messing them with. You can actually use shockwave with radius, detonate, and then lifting shockwave. Now to do this you would have to leave your fitness at 3, but you can still have maxed out, you know, all your powers. You know, he's a little bit weak like that, but you know, it will also really help out your teammates if you use the upgraded shockwave to detonate. Okay, now for equipment I'm going to be using warp ammo 3, pistol ramp 3, and then of course power amplifier. Alright, this video is going to cut ahead a little bit. I didn't start recording until after the loading screen, but this is pretty much the start of it. Now today I'm going to actually be playing with 3 Asari Justicars. Really fun thing to do, you know, like there's a couple downsides to it, there's a couple like great things you can do with that. The main thing is that what the Asari Justicars are going to do is they're just going to reave everything and throw out their bubble, and then from just the amount of times that I can use my charge, which you know, you gotta remember I have radius on my charge, so anything in a bubble or anything that is multiple reaves, I can set off 2 reaves instead of 2 explosions with my charge instead of just 1 explosion. That's one reason why, you know, I do prefer radius. It's just for that aspect, because 2 explosions is always better than 1 and you will definitely kill things a lot faster if you can get 2 explosions off. And then of course Nova is another great power. Probably in my opinion one of the best powers, or if maybe the best power in the whole game. For the most part, when it comes down to just pure power and force and just rawness, and it's amazing at detonating explosions. I mean, it's so powerful to begin with, and if you use it, you know, as a detonator, it just is amazing. You can hit like everything with it, and everything like dies. Alright, so we're going to be playing on Glacier. This is going to be against Cerberus, and this is going to be gold. Right here I was telling them like a good thing they can do is throw out their bubbles at that spawn. That's one thing you can do with your Asaris when you're doing a team like this, when you're running an adapt team. You can actually, you know, put the bubbles out immediately at their spawn points, and you'll see right here. The second I turn this corner, boom, they're already in the bubble. Like, you know, it's already like game over for these guys. Because, you know, they're warped, and now it's just time. It was just time to go to town, and that's just what you do. Now, of course, Guardians are the only thing that you really, you know, you don't have to shoot much with Vanguard, just in general. You know, it's still, well, at least with the human Vanguard. I mean, a lot of people. The reason why I wanted to do this video is because I really don't think the human Vanguard gets a lot of credit. You've heard me before in the past say it, and you've heard other people probably, and you might feel this way, but you know. The human Vanguard is really kind of like considered to be like the most annoying character that people can play with in the game. Mainly because, yeah, you know, a human Vanguard can fly around the map, and because of that, you know, he has so much raw power that he's a great slayer. He's an amazing slayer, and the downside is that, you know, he can, because of Nova, he can actually go down a lot. And if you go down a lot as a human Vanguard, that's really not going to be good for your team. That's really going to annoy your teammates for the most part. And then the other thing is that, you know, not that it matters, but some people it does matter to. I'm not one of these people, but like a lot of people, I do know a lot of people kind of are. And that is, you know, if you run around stealing people's kills all the time, and you just fly out of nowhere to, you know, hit the guy they're shooting at, then that's going to knock him down and mess you up. And then he novas when he's on the ground and steals your kill. yeah, that can be a little like frustrating, you know. So the human Vanguard gets a lot of like bad credit because of that. But every time I have ever played as a human Vanguard, well, maybe not every time, but in the more recent times I've played as human Vanguards, I really try to get my teammates involved. I really try to, like, you know, I tell all my people on my team, like, okay, you guys should use this, you should do that. Because honestly, like, even if you're running a team of tech characters using energy drains from some Larians and stuff, you can get some really amazing tech bursts doing this as well. I mean, you don't have to really go for the explosions and the adapts, but you know, they are probably better in general, just because you know, I still like tech bursts a lot more than I like you know, bionics and stuff. But I don't know, because I just think tech's more consistent. It's a lot easier to pull off, and it does decent enough damage and has decent enough radius just for me to really enjoy it. But you know, in general, it is a lot of fun to just kind of do some stuff like this. I mean, obviously, I'm just kind of like running around and slaying everything. I mean, I'm involved in everything going on here. There's, you know, my teammates are involved as well, but it's more single, you know, singular for them. And this is really terrible when that happens. I hate it when these stupid things get caught up in the air like that. You know, but anyway, it's more singular for them because, you know, they're obviously running around, they're reaving, and, you know, they're targeting one group of enemies, or they're, you know, like just doing things like that, you know, or just one enemy in general. Why, you know, I may be putting out their bubble here and there. So that's their job, you know, to do. My job is to just go around and fly and hit everything in general. Every single thing. Like, I have to be totally involved, like, in the, I keep saying involved. I mean involved. My bad, guys. You know, my English is kind of bad at times. But yeah, you know, I have to be totally involved in the, you know, in the action. I have to constantly move. I have to constantly get into their face. Now, I've done another video with the Human Vanguard. It was one of my favorite gameplays I ever did. I actually will put a link to this video. I don't think that video gets a lot of views. I don't really know why. I mean, a lot of my older videos, I feel like they're overlooked now because of, you know, a lot of my subscribers are new. And I just went down there, and I don't even count that as a as a down, because I couldn't do anything. Like, that dude's up in the air. If they have a height, if an enemy has a height advantage on you, it's terrible. And if an enemy has a height advantage on you like that, like an Atlas, yeah, you're going to be in trouble. So, you know, that's just a couple things. Now, one thing, too, is that when you play as a guy like as a human Vanguard, and you're doing this with your team, you really don't want to you know, you should get your teammates up if you can, but you should let your other teammates kind of get your teammates up, because really he can give the ultimate cover, in the sense that, you know, if there's a phantom or anything coming at you, anything that could potentially drop the guy getting the other guy up, or just, you know, screw you, this guy can really distract. That's what the best advantage that you have as a Vanguard in general, and especially this one, is that this is the, you know, hands down the best one in this case, and that is what he does is that his job is really to distract all the enemies. Besides the fact I'm able to detonate all these explosions for my teammates, I'm also just a big distraction. I mean, my teammates can still run into problems. You know, something can come up behind them and shoot them. But for the most part, they're not really going to go down much. They're not really going to have too much issues unless I die. Because, you know, like, if I'm in a room, in the center of a room, and they're all, like, kind of chilling outside the room, hitting everything with Reeves. I mean, just look at this. Look how ridiculous this is with these Guardians. You know, even if, you know, they're hitting everything in the room with Reeves and stuff, why I am just flying around and, you know, killing them all. Like, that's pretty much the way it works, is that I become like this giant target for the enemies to shoot at. And because the Vanguard can get his shield back and he is just able to do all this stuff, you know, it's amazing. Now, right there, that's a little bit of something you really got to be careful with if you're going to ever try to play as a Vanguard in general, but especially the human, is that you really got to try to avoid charging into things that you don't mean to. Like, right there, excuse me, I did not mean to charge into that Phantom. And because of that, you know, that can really, you know, because he doesn't have the force like, you know, the Krogan or something like that, he actually cannot stun Phantoms from his charge. And what that can do, now maybe if you have force and damage, you can maybe stun them, but I don't think it would be a guarantee no matter what you did. You know, it wouldn't be 100% every time. I mean, it'd be sometimes, yeah, you might be able to pull it off, but not every time. And that can seriously be an issue, you know, for this guy. Is that, you know, if you charge into them and sometimes they can just instantly grab you. It's weird. Like they'll just do that. They'll just instantly grab you and kill you, and it can screw you. But the good thing is that if you run around with a team like this, or even with a tech team like a Solarian following you around, if these energy drains them, or if they use their Reeve on the Phantom, which Reeve really just can't miss a Phantom, you just can't. If I charge into them, then they will explode and they will stun and they will pretty much die, because right after my charge goes off and the explosion goes off, I'm going to be able to pretty much Nova, and the Nova will practically kill them. Now, when you play a map like this is hands down, you know, the reason why we chose this map for this video was because, you know, obviously it's a very small map. What we're doing is it's better if it's in close quarters like this, you know, it's very obvious. But, you know, the main thing is that besides all that, you know, if you're gonna do something like this on a map like this, you have to actually, and as you can tell, fighting enemies like this, you know, by myself without my teammates' help takes me a lot longer than if I have my teammates' help. So that's one reason why this guy, in my opinion, like, really relies a lot on your teammates' cooperation. If you can be the leader, like right now, I am leading my group to destruction. Like, we are going around to kill everything, and they're following. That's their, you know, that's their order. That is their job, is to follow me around, and I am calling out targets. And, you know, I'm trying to make good decisions too. Like, you know, instead of fighting this Atlas, we're just killing the enemies in the room. And now that they're all dead, we can run away. And because of that, we're going to be able to, you know, the idea of it is that, and I've said this a lot about gold gameplays, is that sometimes you just don't want to kill the boss level enemies. It's easier on your team if you skip them and you just go for the smaller enemies first, the infantry units. And once they're dead, then, you know, you won't have to fight 6 Atlases in one wave. Instead, you're only fighting 2. Like, that's not that bad. If you take your time trying to kill a big enemy, you know, an Atlas is basically the same as a Vanguard. He is just a big distraction. I mean, he's a threat, too. There is a possibility of a threat there. And right here, I'm going to get grabbed. Oh, my God, I was so mad. You see how that was an instant grab? That's what can happen to you, so you have to be careful with that. Now, normally, I don't recommend charging into big enemies like that as any other Vanguard but the human Vanguard, and only if you're doing what we were doing, because, you know, because of the constant explosion going on, more than likely we should have been able to stun the Atlas, but right there was a little bit of a mix-up, a mess-up. The bubble wasn't necessarily on him right, and because of that, he wasn't getting warped, and that kind of is what got me grabbed. You know, but in general, I do not recommend. You know, it's better just to shoot those things and maybe run up in Nova every once in a while. But, you know, or, well, and if you're playing as any other Vanguard, then, you know, every once in a while you can maybe charge. But for the most part, you do want to stay back from them and shoot them. But like I said, in this particular case, it is okay, just because of the bubbles and stuff. But like I was saying, though, you know, he really will rely on his teammates, and Atlases and things, they are in general just a Vanguard. They are just these big targets, you know, that are like a distraction. And if you focus too much time on them, trying to kill an Atlas, that's just going to respawn anyway. I mean, it's just going to respawn unless it's the last one. Then you're going to have phantoms coming up behind you, you're going to have enemies rushing you, and that can screw you. That can fail you the mission if you all get dropped or assassinated or something like that. Right here, I was asking them, did they want to, you know, have a little orgy? I wanted to show them my Vanguard skills, things like that. But yeah, you know, I really do feel like the Vanguard, you know, when you do a team like this, you really do feel like the Vanguard of destruction. You know, it's just pretty much quoting Sovereign or whatever, but, you know, like, no, not Sovereign, Harbinger. I just almost forgot. I don't want someone to correct me saying, well, actually, Jumpin', it's Harbinger, duh, you know. But, you know, people, they just do that. But, you know, I think a lot of people have to prove that, you know, they can out-nerd other people in general. So it's pretty funny, but it's kind of true. Alright, now, these ejector waves like this, like, unfortunately this gameplay, I think the thing that made this gameplay, to me, like, so annoying. Like, as you can tell, we're not having many problems. There's been some cases of, like, uh-ohs, but never like a big like, oh crap, we are screwed, dude. You know, but we have been unlucky. We've gotten the devices twice now. Oh man, that is just terrible. Or actually, no, we had targets the first time, but you know, we just got devices. Devices are definitely the most annoying, I think, in the whole game. Another thing is a Vanguard, and especially the human, like, you really got to be careful about turrets. Turrets can really screw you as a Vanguard in general, and as the human, I mean, it can be really bad. If you Nova and it starts shooting you and you're down to 1 bar of health, and the truth of the matter about the human Vanguard, and I've said this since the demo, and my buddy Envy, you might know him, Far Envy, he said this too as well. Like, we just kind of wasn't, you know, I don't know who said it first. He might have actually said it before me, but what he said makes sense. Is that, you know, when you play as Vanguard, you live your life in 1 bar. That is just the case, like, especially on gold, or really just on any difficulty. You live your life on 1 bar of health. So if you're, you know, if you're by a turret and you Nova and you don't get that explosion, or if you don't kill it, there's a good chance if it shoots you that, yeah, you're screwed. So every time you fall, you know, fly into a turret, if you're playing with teammates and things, you have to be like, hey guys, there's a turret, you know, calling out, like trying to communicate with your team. Now right there is an example of what a Phantom can do to you. You know, I charged into her, she didn't stun, and she just instantly swung her sword and killed me. Luckily, she killed me, but there's always that chance that she'll just insta-grab you, and if that happens, you're going to have problems. Now, that room was chaotic. We had to get out of there, so I was the one who said, you know, come on guys, let's go. Unfortunately, Drew didn't make it out the room, or he went the wrong direction. He went down the stairs instead of following me out like I did, and because of that, he actually ran into a turret and got knocked down. And right here, actually, I think I'm okay. Like, you know, but you gotta be careful. Like, you know, every time you really, as a human Vanguard, or a ManGuard, that's what most people call them. You will sweat. I mean, you will literally sweat every time you have to charge a Phantom that is not reeved or that is not hit by any power, like energy drain, something that will cause a combo. If you charge into a Phantom without having that happen, you will sweat a little bit, because there's always that chance that they can instant grab you, and you don't want that to happen. It's just what it is. Alright guys, so we got one more objective. I'm just going to block the door. You know, I'm just going to be a good team player, like I said, and stay with my teammates and try to block this door right here in this area, just to, you know, stop them from, any Phantom from screwing them up. And then another thing too, I'm going to come up here and try to help him out. I knew he was going to die though. He said there was Phantoms by him, and yeah. You know, these bubbles are, you know, Sarah Justicar is amazing. She really is. Like, she is an amazing team player, just like the human Vanguard can be an amazing team player. Like, right there, that was amazing. Just the fact that I went down there, I mean, I went up to where that Phantom was, and yeah, I'm going to get dropped. See, that's what I'm talking about. After a Nova, a turret can just murder you. But like I was saying, you know, that bubble was just, it wasn't a random bubble, but it was kind of like somewhat of a random bubble in a way. Because, you know, it was just there, it was left over from earlier, and, you know, the Phantom ran into the bubble. You'll have that happen all the time, where enemies will just be in a bubble, and you just charge in there, and they're getting blown up, and, you know, the bubble, you know, your teammate who put the bubble there is helping you out, and you're helping your teammate out, because, you know, you won't always be getting all the kills. A lot of times you're going to be getting your teammates' kills. So, not only, you know, will I finish this game with 75 kills, but most, you know, well, maybe 1 or 2 of my teammates might also, and they'll all get about, you know, or most of them should get 50, you know, bionic kills, because of what I'm doing. I'm helping them get their explosions, and I'm just helping them out a lot. Now, one thing I wanted to talk about in this video, though, which is kind of important to me, I really wish you guys could do me a big favor, and that is, I have made a Facebook fan page for my channel and stuff, and for anybody who likes my videos. I would really appreciate it if you guys could go on there and give me a thumbs up, a like on that. I want to just, you know, I'm just more curious, I guess. I just want to see how many people will actually do that, because, you know, it'd be pretty cool. I'm not really too smart with computers, though. You might have heard me preach about that before in the past. You know, right here, I'm sweating. That's what I was talking about. I was sweating right there. Luckily, nothing happened. But, you know, like I've talked about this before in the past. I am just so stupid when it comes to computers. I don't really know much about anything. All I know about is how to record my voice, you know, and capture a video and combine the two together in a, into one video, the voice and the video itself. That's like all I know. Like, and then upload to YouTube and look at YouTube videos. Like, that's really I maybe check my Facebook status every once in a while. Like, that's all I ever do on my computer. I'm not really big computer savvy or really into any of that. So I was wondering, like, can someone maybe help me out? Like, I want to know, how do I link my Twitter and how do I link my my Facebook fan page to my YouTube? I actually have no idea. And I was looking that up. I was trying to see if I could find a how-to video for that. And all I ever came up was how to link Facebook to Twitter, which I'm not really interested in that as much as I'm interested in, having them on my YouTube page. So it's a lot easier access for you guys just to click on like my channel and then click on like my Facebook thing there. And then, I will be using my Facebook like in my fan page. I will definitely be doing that. So, if you guys are really into my videos and stuff and you're liking, especially because I upload daily, if you guys want, to check that out and see some updates and things on there saying, like, because I'll announce videos I'm coming out with, any questions you guys have or things like that, you can ask me and I probably will reply to you, things like that. So, feel free to, just do what you do and, we'll see what happens. Alright, so let me go, I hate to talk about anything but the gameplay because I always preach that I can't stand commentators who don't talk about the gameplay because, come on guys, we are gameplay commentators and I feel like nobody talks about gameplay but me. Like, I'm sure some people do, but in general, it's 90% them not talking about the gameplay and 10% of them talking maybe like, oh, look at this cool quickscope I got, dude. That's about it. Alright, so right here, I was sweating once again, mainly because there's an Atlas behind me, and that was, oh god, I didn't, never try to run past an Atlas. Big no-no. I learned that in one of my videos, when I was playing. I was trying to run past an Atlas, and I just got murdered. It just grabbed me so quickly. Now, one thing they did, if you guys don't know, in an update, I guess kind of a long time ago, maybe like weeks ago or a month ago, is that they made it so Atlases actually on gold have an 80% chance of grabbing you. So, like, that's it used to be 60% chance of them grabbing you, and I think it was a 40% chance on silver of them grabbing you, and they up silver to 60%, and they up gold to 80%. So, Vanguard's charging Atlases can really be devastating. You can easily get grabbed by them, so you gotta watch out for that. You want to just avoid close range combat with them for the most part. But as a human Vanguard, you kind of are forced to, at times, charge into them and, fight them like that. The best thing you can do, and one thing I haven't talked about yet, is that the way I like to play with the human Vanguards, I like to charge in, Nova, roll or move. That's the thing. You want to move around, you want to roll, you want to dodge forward, you want to dodge back, you want to dodge to the left, you want to dodge to the right, whatever. It's more about your movement than it is about anything else. That's the thing. Like, that's kind of a secret to it. Now, every time that this has been 2 waves in a row, I've got dropped in the doorway of this room. But like I said, it's kind of my job to be the one who's gonna get dropped. It's like, I got dropped. I'm like, okay, we're not going in there. Like, not yet. We are not going in that room. And that's just, you gotta make that kind of call. Like, 2 Atlases in the room. They're gonna be in that room for a second, so we'll have plenty of time to just circle the map, find where the enemies are for the most part, and as you can tell, we're all just coming over here and mess them up. Look at this right here. We're killing phantoms, and it's so easy. We're taking out the bulk of the phantoms right now because we're just able to do this. Like, we're just able to hit them with Reeve, and I'm able to explode them for my teammates, and then if I don't kill them, my teammates' explosions will, things like that. So, it's freaking awesome. I love playing it. I think it's a lot of fun to play as a human Vanguard, but I can only have fun with this class when I'm playing with it as with a team, like with a team-orientated kind of like vibe going on. Everybody's on the same page, because for one, I feel like a douche and right here I almost get assassinated, but luckily I love it when this happens. The combat engineer shot me. Thank you, combat engineer, you dumbass. But if I'm playing with, there's two things. If you're playing this without a team, or something like that, you're trying to be a human Vanguard on gold, you're gonna not have that much success because you're just gonna get frustrated. You're gonna get grabbed, you're gonna go down a lot, and it's gonna piss you off. And right here, once again, boom, goodbye, neck, snapped it in half, and it just sucks when that happens. But luckily, we were able to clear out most of the enemies. So I believe, besides maybe a couple floaters here and there, I think the Atlas, or maybe I actually right here, yeah, like that. It wasn't really a big deal getting grabbed because it's one more enemy, and I have 1,000% confidence that my team's gonna be able to kill this one Atlas. But yeah, like I was saying, like getting grabbed sucks, and if you play without a team, you're gonna feel, you're gonna frustrate yourself. Your teammates are gonna get mad at you, and you're probably not gonna have a lot of success. So the better thing to do is just, even if you're playing with randoms and you're in a party with them or something, just be like, hey guys, I'm host. You should always play as, I'll preach this every time. If you can play as a Vanguard, you should play on host, just so you avoid the credit glitch. I said credit glitch. I am on something else today, but no, I mean just so you can avoid the Vanguard glitch. If you can avoid that, then you'll have you don't want that to happen. And then the other thing, I mean, look at this right here, though. I mean, we have devices again. Oh man, I mean that is just terrible for a small map like this. That is like the worst thing that you can get on Wave 10. It's very challenging. Like, it's on this map. Every other objective on this map is so easy, but this devices on Wave 10 it can be very challenging at times. All right, but yeah, anyway, so right here, like I said, I'm just pretty much, I'm trying to help my team still at this point, because the idea is that, I'm going to continuously try to keep these enemies just focused on me and try to kill them, especially if my team go down. Because if I can distract those enemies that are really causing us a problem, then what I'm going to be able to do is, well, not what I'm going to be able to do, but what my other teammates are going to be able to do is to help revive the people who are down and get them up safely. If one person is just kind of distracting them, once again right there, that's a moment of just sweating, fearing the worst that can happen. And I mean, in a setup thing like this, if you actually do get assassinated at the wrong time, it will be very, very devastating for your team. I mean, it can cost you the game, because we have really not. I mean, the Sorry Justicar can detonate her own explosions, but it's 1,000 times better to have someone with Shockwave, or someone like me as a human Vanguard, being able to set them off for my teammates, because it's messed up, and I'm gonna keep getting dropped right here, and I think I'm gonna get myself up a couple times, just because we have to get out of this area. I'm gonna make sure, that's one thing about a Vanguard too. When you go down, not all the time, but for most of the time, in certain really clutch situations, certain clusters of enemies and stuff, you need to get yourself up. You don't want to risk your teammates having to come and get you, because the second you get up, you can charge, get your shield back, and go to town, and then your teammates can start reaving and helping, and you'll get out of whatever mess you're in. But if you rely on your teammates to have to come and get you, especially when you're surrounded by one or two phantoms, it's just not going to happen. They're not going to be able to do what you're going to be able to do, and this is what it is. So alright, so right here, I'm just going to go ahead and actually, I believe, I heard a call out, hey, I have a phantom on me, so I'm like, yo, I'm coming, man, boom, I'm going to be there, I'm going to help him out, I'm going to kill it, I'm pretty much kill it for him, but, we shared the points, because he actually did get, I think, more than half the points, because he set off an explosion on it. So yeah, that's just what it is, guys. I mean, as a human Vanguard doing this, you actually will, if you can play it right, you will probably get the most points, but that's only because I'm so involved. It's not just I'm getting a decent amount of kills, but my teammates are getting a lot of kills too. But it's mainly because I'm involved in so many assists as well as kills that that's what's really making the difference there. Everyone else is just kind of there to just put out their reaves and stuff. Alright, so wave 11 on this map, very important. I've said this a couple times before, but you want to block out these spawns. We were not able to block this spawn right here. That's why they spawned in there. You don't want that to happen. You know, if Atlases get into the room, you should probably rocket them. For the most part, you just kind of want to stay back. Just kind of make a defensive like position of this room. And yeah, you know, just take out enemies. That's just what you're going to do if they get close. You know, phantoms and stuff, you should take them out. Now, sometimes, actually not just sometimes, most of the time, there will be a phantom that will occasionally come up behind you. And if they do that, you're going to have to really pay attention to them. Like, they're going to be priority, because you don't want them at the landing pad, and you do not want them behind you, flanking you and killing you from behind. And right here is a great example. Watch this stupid crap. Ooh, what the heck? For real? Like, I've never seen something like that. I mean, I had the animation of Nova, like, totally done right there. But yet, that stupid bitch, and I'm sorry to any ladies, but that freaking phantom grabbed me magically, and it's just annoying. But it happens. It's not a big deal. We're not going to get full extraction. I was so disappointed, but, you know, hey, you know, someone was telling me, he was like, I forgot who said it. It was it was Obsidian who's in this gameplay. He's being a douche. He was like, man, I've never seen someone get grabbed that much. I'm like, I got grabbed 3 times, bro. Come on now. Like, come on now. Yeah, whatever. Alright, so, you know, but yeah, you know, they're going to be able to pretty much do it. Come on, Drew, cloak. You know, so there you go, guys. I really hope you guys enjoy this gameplay. Like I said, the Human Vanguard, yes, he can be very douchey in a way. He can be very, you know, people give him a lot of bad credit, but if you play him right and you play him effectively, like, this is way better than just flying around killing everything and going down a lot. This is a team-based character. If you want to try him, it's a lot of fun, and your teammates will love you. So that's going to be pretty much it, guys. Please comment, like, and subscribe, and like always, have a nice day.